Thank you for tuning in to Terry Swoop Videos. I wanted to talk about this shooting that happened in Richmond, Virginia. A 30-year-old mother by the name of Sharnez Hill and her 3-month-old baby were killed in a gang shootout. They were sitting in the parking lot having a barbecue, and 3 gangbangers started having a shootout, and they got caught in a crossfire, and both of them were shot and killed. This 3-month-old baby, this beautiful baby, lost her life over nothing. Look how beautiful this baby is. I'm really getting sick and tired of Black lives only mattering when the killer is a cop, but when we kill each other, we want to completely ignore it and shove it under the rug. You're not going to see any woke celebrities talking about this tragedy. You're not going to see any black leaders talking about this tragedy. Because today's generation has been brainwashed to believe that you should only address black lives unless the killer is a cop. And you should completely ignore black lives when we kill each other. This is why I can't stand these woke Twitter activists. Because they only care about black lives when they can make money off of it. If they don't see a way to make money off of it, they don't care about black lives. This is why they focus on police shootings, because that's what makes the most money. Hundreds of millions of dollars was made off George Floyd's death. Hundreds of millions of dollars was made off Michael Brown's death. But when a black person kills a black person, you can't make money off of that. You can't exploit that and make money off of it. This is why most black leaders completely ignore black on black crime. Most woke Twitter activists completely ignore black on black crime. They will even say black on black crime doesn't exist. These fools will say it doesn't exist. Even though 95% of black people who are killed by other black people. Police shootings only make up about 1% of black deaths, while black people killing black people makes up 95%. But they will say you're a coon for focusing on what kills the majority of black people. This is what makes these woke Twitter activists so hypocritical, so disingenuous, because they don't care about black lives. They only care about black lives when it fits their agenda. They only care about black lives when they can make money off of it. So a lot of younger people are followers of these woke Twitter activists. My advice to you is start thinking for yourself. Stop following these phony woke activists on Twitter, because these people are fake. They're fake, phony people who don't give a shit about black lives. All they care about is making money off black lives. As a black man who was born and raised in the ghetto, I know firsthand about inner city violence and gang violence. I grew up in it. And I just think we should address both issues. We should address police brutality, but we should also address inner city violence. The problem I have with a lot of these woke Twitter activists is they only want to address a black person's death when the killer is a cop, but they want to completely ignore it when it's black people killing other black people. That makes no sense. And their typical response whenever somebody brings up black on black crime is that white people kill white people. This is their excuse for not addressing black on black crime. This is completely ignorant. Just because whites kill whites doesn't excuse blacks killing blacks. And there's 10 times more black people killing black people than white people killing white people. As black people in America, we're only 13% of the population, but we make up more than 50% of the homicides in the country. That's a high per capita rate. A lot of these pro-blacks will go on and on and on about the per capita rate when it comes to police shootings, but they completely ignore the per capita rate when it comes to black people killing other black people. No other race kills their own people more than we do. And I just think this needs to stop. Black lives should matter no matter who the killer is. If you're only outraged by a black person's death when the killer is a cop, then you don't give a damn about black lives. If you're only outraged by a black person's death when it fits a certain narrative, then you don't give a damn about black lives. If you really care about black lives, you're going to care about black lives no matter who the killer is. And this is exactly what Spike Lee talked about when he made the movie Chirac. He was doing an interview on MSNBC, and this liberal reporter was telling him that he should ignore black on black crime. And he said, no, we should not ignore black on black crime. Because when a black person is killed, it shouldn't matter who the killer is. Your outrage shouldn't depend on who the killer is. If a black mother loses their child, if a black parent loses their child, you're not going to care who the killer is. The main thing you're going to care about is that you lost your child and your child is never coming back. And this is exactly what Spike Lee was talking about. Now, when Spike Lee gave this interview, I fully understand what he was talking about. But most younger people don't understand this. Most younger people today have been brainwashed to believe that you should only address black lives unless the killer is a cop. That makes no sense. The younger generation needs to wake up and start looking at the bigger picture.
If you're a parent, whether your child got killed by a gangbanger or a cop, you still feel the same.
Right.
Your child is dead, and your child is never coming back to you forever, and for the rest of your life, you're gonna have a hole in your soul.
A Richmond community coming together through a circle of love.
Time for us just to come together and make a difference.
As local activists plead for an end to the gun violence following Tuesday's shooting here at the Belt Atlantic Apartments that killed 30-year-old Sharnez Hill and her 3-month-old daughter. A second adult and 2 minors were also shot, all just innocent bystanders enjoying the weather outside.
It's too sad for us to be sitting out in our own neighborhoods and we are not safe.
People supposed to be dying because of natural causes. We're supposed to be burying our parents. We're not supposed to be out here burying our children, our friends. That's not okay.
Friends of the victim also sharing words Saturday
For them to do that to them is horrible to me.
as they try to process through the pain.
I love you. I see you that morning. And I love you unconditionally. I'm sorry that this had to happen to you.
As this community tries to heal through unity, family and friends just hope now some real change can be done with the help of city leaders.
We all represent the community, and we are what the community is, you know, and so I would like us to just work together, do things together, and provide some programming for our children.
Bill and Candace, you may be able to see a growing crowd behind me here next to balloons and flowers. The grandmother of the baby shot and killed here at the Belt Atlantic apartment last night is here for a candlelight vigil. And I'm told this is a vigil for all 5 victims here after yet another act of violence in our city.
And while I understand my family members were not the target, they are the victims.
Pastor Dante McCutcheon finds himself asking why.
I need answers, Lord. You know, I need answers. I need to know what's going on.
After 2 members of his family, a mother and her infant, were suddenly killed.
What's next? How do we live after this? You know, I just don't understand.
Richmond police say the shootout happened around 6:30 Tuesday night at the Belt Atlantic Apartments on Midlothian Turnpike. 5 victims were shot, caught in the crossfire. A 29-year-old, 15-year-old, and 11-year-old survived the shooting. 30-year-old Sharnez Hill and her 3-month-old baby Neziah did not.
She was excited to be a mother. All she wanted was to have a child, and she finally had a baby.
This is a 1-year-old's birthday party.
Councilwoman Stephanie Lynch, who represents the 5th District, says this community is devastated.
Folks are scared to go outside. They're scared to check their mail.
She says the solution to stopping these shootings is simple.
We're fighting not a war against crime. We're fighting a war on poverty and trauma. And if we don't get caring adults and fund community program and get caring adults and arms around these kids.
Mayor LeVar Stoney and Police Chief Gerald Smith spoke at a Wednesday press conference.
That our children can't simply go out and play
enjoy themselves. It is our goal that we will hold all of those who are responsible accountable for this.
We have learned that 3 people have been arrested in connection to the shooting. Richmond police confirmed the suspects as 22-year-old Donald Hemmings, 23-year-old Shaheem Martin, and 19-year-old Shamondrick Perry, all charged with conspiracy to commit first-degree murder and the death of the infant.
We can't bring them back. There's a mother and a father that's crying. You know, my cousins, her siblings, they are hurt. The only hope that we have is that these people are caught and that justice is served.
I'm told another prayer vigil is in the works, and you can hear behind us here. The candlelight vigil is expected to start any minute now, and the other prayer vigil scheduled for sometime on Saturday right here at the Belt Atlantic Apartments. Detectives say more arrests could be announced soon, as they believe more people could be involved in the shooting. You stay with us. We'll have more at the news at 11. My colleague, Crime Insider John Burkett, will have the latest on the investigation. You'll hear more from this family grieving this unexpected loss. Working for you on the city's south side, I'm Brennan King, CBS 6 News.